Welcome everyone, and thanks for joining us today for our Singular Health Investor webinar. I'm Lucas Robinson from Investor Relations Consultancy Corporate Storytime. Joining me today is Singular's Chief Operating Officer, Dr. Martina Mariano, who will be providing an investor update on the recently announced $1.3 million contract signed with Provider Network Solutions and an $8 million Australian dollar capital raise. We also have Managing Director Chong, who will be available for a Q&A session. After Martina's update, we'll open up the floor for a Q&A. If you would like to submit a question, simply use the Q&A function at the bottom of your screen at any time during the webinar. So without further ado, it's my pleasure to hand over to Martina.
Thank you, Lucas. Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us today for Singular Health June 2025 Investor Webinar. As Lucas said, my name is Martina Mariano. I'm Singular Health Chief Operating Officer, and I'm pleased to provide you with an update on the exciting progress we have made, including commercial milestones, strategic partnerships, and our growing presence in the US healthcare market. At Singular Health, our mission is clear. We are building a fully integrated healthcare ecosystem that enables interoperability and unlocks the full value of medical imaging to empower patients and practitioners to make more informed decisions. Through our advanced technology, we are tackling long-standing inefficiency in how imaging data is accessed and shared, delivering solutions that empower physicians and benefit patients. Our recent capital raise has strengthened our balance sheet, bringing our pro forma cash to 13.2 million and placing us in a strong position for national rollout. With a market cap of more than 105 million, we are grateful for the strong support and quality of our shareholder base. Our leadership team combines deep industry experience in corporate, medicine, technology, and operations, thanks to our knowledgeable and experienced board. Next, I would like to turn to our investment highlights. And this slide captures the key reasons why Singular Health is positioned for growth, including a proven technology through a successful proof of concept with Provider Network Solution, a strategic MSO partner in the US, the execution of a $1.3 million commercial contract with PNS, and a significant market opportunity with an estimated TAM, or total addressable market, of 19 billion in the US alone, which we are addressing through the existing partnership with PNS and the engagement with additional MSOs and health plans. And this is just a snapshot of why we are so excited about the path ahead. The commercial contract recently signed with PNS and announced to the market includes 1,000 paid 3DACOM MD yearly licenses sold at $800 per practitioner, along with a one-off development payment of $500,000 to support diagnostic AI model integration and also the creation of a centralized repository of medical imaging data. The initial deployment will cover PNS's primary care network across Florida, Texas, and Puerto Rico. Together with PNS, we have co-designed a solution that targets three key challenges and unmet needs in healthcare: the unnecessary duplicate imaging, delays in disease detection, and the lack of centralized access to medical imaging. So a successful pilot not only will help addressing these issues, but for Singular Health, it will also open the door to national rollout through the PNS joint venture network. As we grow, our licensing model is simple and highly scalable. $800 per physician per year, paid by the MSO that they are contracted with. With 1.3 million active physicians in the US and an average of 19 payer contracts per physician, our estimated TAM is $19 billion in annual recurring revenue. The US healthcare market is fragmented, and medical imaging is often duplicated, wasting time, resources, and risking patient outcomes. This has been estimated that up to 30% of imaging is unnecessary, leading to over 30 billion in annual waste. Our 3DACOM solution is addressing this issue by enabling secure digital transfer between disconnected healthcare systems and providers, drastically reducing delays, radiation exposure, and also costly redundant scans. Let's now take a closer look at the US healthcare landscape and the role that MSOs play in making this complex system work more efficiently. The US healthcare market operates largely on a value-based care model when it comes to the relationship between health plans and providers. But let me break this down. Patients or members typically pay a fixed premium for their health insurance through their employer. The health plan collects these payments and generally retains roughly 20% to cover its own administrative costs and margins. The remaining 80% is passed down to managed service organizations or MSOs. Now, MSOs operate as strategic partners for hospitals, primary care physicians, and specialists. They take on the non-clinical, operational, and administrative responsibilities across this network. MSOs work within that fixed budget received from the health plan, which means that the only way for an MSO to make money is by saving money, by making care more efficient and reducing waste. But here is where it gets challenging. MSOs often manage multiple hospitals and clinical settings, each with its own IT infrastructure and separate disconnected PACS or medical imaging systems. In other words, patient data is siloed across different platforms and doesn't move easily between facilities. In this environment, seamless access to medical images and patient data isn't just a nice to have, it's critical for making the best clinical decisions, reducing duplications, and avoiding unnecessary cost. And that's precisely where Singular Health and our 3DACOM solution fits in. But let me walk you through a common patient story that happens in the US every day. This is Carmen. She arrives at a hospital with acute abdominal pain. The doctor sends her for a CT scan, and that scan is saved in the hospital's local PACS. The radiologist reviews the scan but doesn't pinpoint the cause, and she's given some painkiller and sent home without any access to the images or the report. A few days later, Carmen is still in pain, and she goes to her local doctor. The doctor has no access to the original scans. The hospital PACS doesn't connect with the local practice. And so what happens? The doctor has no choice but to send Carmen for another CT scan. This means more discomfort, more exposure to radiation, delays in making the right diagnosis, and of course, more costs to both Carmen and the healthcare system. And this is the reality across many fragmented healthcare settings in the US. Here is where the 3DACOM solution comes in. The next time that Carmen presents to her doctor, the doctor simply enters her detail into the 3DACOM portal. Our system then automatically searches all of the connected PACS across the MSO network, finds any prior imaging, and allows the doctor to review it right where they are, either in our FDA-cleared DICOM viewer or on any other DICOM viewer. At the same time, we can run AI diagnostic models on those images as they are being transferred. And this means that we can detect things earlier, reduce the risk of misdiagnosis, and stratify patients based on their level of risk. In short, 3DACOM creates true interoperability across the MSO network, allowing physicians to make more informed decisions, saving patients from repeat scans, reducing delays, and cutting costs. And this is how we enable better care and better outcomes for both patients and providers. So this solution is possible through the 3DACOM platform that provides FDA-cleared imaging tools combined with secure image transfer powered by our proprietary medical file transfer protocol. We also use blockchain for auditability and AI integration to enhance diagnostics. And the result is a plug-and-play solution that provides faster, safer, and more accurate care across these connected systems. With a market valued at $46.8 billion US and forecast to grow nearly 13% of compound annual growth rate through 2030, MSOs, which are often owned by private equity firms, are under a lot of pressure to reduce inefficiency, making solutions like the Singular Health 3DACOM platform incredibly relevant. Let's have a look at who is PNS. PNS is a well-established MSO managing over 3.7 million members in Florida, Texas, and Puerto Rico. They have also established a joint venture with HOPCO, and HOPCO is a national leader in value-based care for musculoskeletal solutions, and they have a presence across 30 different states. This means that Singular Health would have direct access to a broad and growing network of MSOs. In November 2024, we signed a memorandum of understanding with PNS, and we structured our collaboration across 4 different phases: a technical proof of concept, a pilot planning, a paid pilot execution, and a full rollout. Since the execution of the agreement, we have successfully completed phase 1 and 2, and with the signing of the recent commercial contract, we have also officially entered phase 3, in line with the timeframe presented. The implementation of the 3DACOM solution represents a potential for significant cost saving by reducing duplicate imaging, which is a problem that costs PNS only $35 per member per month, or $1.5 billion a year, as it was highlighted by PNS CEO, Dr. Pelayo. So this collaboration will increase interoperability, reducing costly and inefficient imaging duplication and streamlining diagnostics, also providing a better patient experience and delivery of quality care. Will improve operational efficiency across the MSO network, will enable AI-driven insights for better clinical decisions, and will also enable the development of a centralized imaging repository, laying the groundwork for large-scale AI model deployments. So we have made remarkable progress across 2024 and 2025, from developing a robust, stable, and validated solution to signing our first commercial contract. As we move into the second half of 2025, our focus is the successful execution of this commercial contract with PNS and securing further partnerships with additional MSOs. Our goal remains a national rollout by 2026, fully funded with our current cash position. Thank you for your continued support and for your belief in Singular Health, and we are happy to take any questions.
Thanks very much for that excellent presentation, Martina. We do have some questions. The first one I'll direct to you. Are there any other companies who are trialing or are users of the software either in Australia or in the United States?
Yeah, we are actually in active discussions with several national organizations in Australia, and we are trialing the solution with other payers in the US. Now, these conversations are commercial in confidence at this stage, so we can't really say more.
In the announcement, you mentioned ongoing discussions with health plans. How can the software be of benefit to US-based insurers?
Yeah, in addition to the benefits that we described for MSOs, for health plans, the solution also streamlines the pre-authorization within the utilization management teams of the health plans, making the whole process of ordering new clinically required scans more efficient and ultimately supporting better access to care. So through the access of entire medical history of a patient through the centralized repository and also the application of innovative AI models, it also means that health plans would be able to better assess the risk for each patient and ultimately better allocate resources for each of their patients and members.
Thank you very much. This one's for Denning. Welcome to the webinar, Denning. What are the key early wins you expect or hope to see from the paid pilot program with PNS? And when can we expect updates? Pardon me. Upon a successful pilot, would you expect to roll out region by region or state by state?
I think over the next quarter or 3 to 4 months, we'll be able to assess the trends coming from the application or deployment of our solution. So we can see the amount of percentage-wise, any drop in duplication costs, any customer or patient sort of satisfaction sort of metrics, which is key to us. And with those trends, we'll be able to extrapolate that in terms of a successful pilot, as we say. And from there, to answer your second question, we would expect somewhere by the end of the year or early next year, our first foray into the next paid contract or next rollout into a national framework.
Also directed to you, Denning, has there been any inbound interest from other MSOs which can be mentioned?
It's been quite a few MSO inbound leads. We are in active discussions, as Martina has indicated, and we take these meetings quite often with various MSOs and other health plans. Again, it's a little bit too early to speak any details about that, given the commercial sensitivities of it. However, we're very confident on closing these out over the next 6 months.
Also, Denning, would you be able to answer? Can you please talk about what percentage of the capital raise was taken by institutional investors and why your broker took options instead of a cash fee?
I think to understand the placement wasn't primarily to raise money. It was in effect to institutionalize our register. So to get good long-term supporters and institutions involved in our share register, which bodes well for our future and the value of the company moving forward. In terms of percentages, I think close to the entire placement was institutionalized. The broker fees, Wallaby Group again showed their confidence as in the stock, which they did in the first place back in October, and they did it again by taking options. I think the option strike price was about 57% premium on the placement price, I think at 55 cents. So that shows a significant confidence level that they have in the company and the business moving forward. And more so, I think we'll be remiss to sort of not mention that P&S and Marion and Sons, which are our lead distributor, also followed on in the investment themselves at the 35-cent price. So all the various stakeholders and people involved, continue to show the growth and confidence in the company.
Are there any opportunities in markets outside of the US for 3-DICOM solution to be adopted?
Yes, we are actually having conversations. We've got some planned next week for other continents. There's UK, there's the South Americas, there's Asia. I can't say again in commercial and confidence, but there is definitely other continents that I'm looking to expand into, and we do have conversations slated for next week to progress those conversations. It is a global solution, and that's the key thing about, I guess, the company's product and offering that is not limited. Whilst USA is the golden goose and the great place to start and have the business, it is a global solution.
Excellent. And a question in relation to a shareholder. Is Craig Sellers a passive shareholder or does he offer technical advice to the company?
Craig provides advice I suppose, as a technical person and as well as an astute businessman. So I can't say he just provides technical expertise per se. He's not entirely a passive shareholder. However, he's a very valued member of our shareholder registry.
Thanks, Danny. And one final question directed to Martina. Is the company still pursuing veterans and educational contracts?
Absolutely. We currently have 15,000 licenses sold to veterans across Florida, Texas, and Nevada. We're also renewing some existing agreements, including Majma University in Saudi Arabia, and we are pursuing new opportunities with some large Florida-based universities.
Well, that's terrific. Well, thanks very much for the presentation and the Q&A session. That seems to cover the majority of our questions today. If we haven't been able to get to one of your questions. We'll try and answer it offline. Martina and Denning, is there any parting message you'd like to leave the audience?
It's been a while. It's been a journey for us to get here, and we're very excited with our next chapter in terms of sales and in terms of deployment. We've moved to that phase. There's a lot of inbound leads that we're growing, and the confidence that we have with our share register and with the contracts in terms of in the pipeline that we see and we expect to get. We're very excited as to the future of the company. Where the value is the growth and the scalability of the business, and that's quite important to us. And what's more important, obviously, is at the end of the day, our solution drives back to our original premise, which is to better healthcare. That's the ethos that we follow, and making money is a motivation. But if we can improve the healthcare system, that's something that's important to us.
That seems to wrap up the webinar for today. Recording of this webinar will be made available on Singular Health's and Corporate Storytime's social media channels in the coming days. So please keep an eye out for that. Big thank you to Martina and Denning for joining us and for the update. And thanks to the audience for joining us. Thanks again.